I think Sanders made a disastrous mistake. I understand his logic. When Shama and I asked him, or encouraged him to run as an independent, he answered, I don't want to end up like Ralph Nader. And what he really said is, I don't want to take on the Democratic Party establishment and become a political pariah. Because Sanders has played, I think, built a very Faustian bargain with the Democratic Party. He campaigned for Bill Clinton in '92. He campaigned for Clinton in '96 after NAFTA, after the destruction of our welfare system. And remember, under original welfare guidelines, 70% of the recipients were children. After the 1994 Omnibus Crime Bill that exploded the system of mass incarceration that I want to address a little bit at the end. The deregulation of the FCC that turned the airwaves over to roughly a half dozen corporations. All of this was Clinton. In 2004, Sanders was calling on Nader to suspend his campaign. Sanders has always served as a kind of watchdog for the Democratic Party, and in return, they have not mounted a serious campaign to unseat him in Vermont, and he, in turn, has done everything he can to stymie third-party movements in Vermont. I think Sanders honestly believed that he had a chance. I think we are watching now a legitimate anger on the part of Sanders and those around him as they understand that the game was fixed from the beginning. And yet, I fear that Sanders will do what he says he's going to do, which is endorse the Democratic nominee. And at that moment, Sanders becomes an impediment to social change. If Bernie Sanders does not want to build a third-party movement, then we are going to have to build it without him. And we are going to have to free ourselves from this belief that we are going to make serious social change within the confines of a particular electoral cycle. We are going to have to begin to organize and recognize that what we are building towards may be 10 years away. When Syriza began, it was polling 4%. By the time Syriza took power, it had a majority within Greece. We have to hold fast to that moral imperative. We have to stand up and be willing to defy the system. We have to step outside of the system. And the system will be ruthless in terms of its response.